buff my monkey. You dirty developers, what's up everybody? Come to us, I knew you wanted to buff my monkey. I knew you want to play with my monkey and say, your monkey needs to be... Never mind. What's up everybody? Today we're going to talk about this new monster balancing blah 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 blah. That's the actual term for it. And I have to look at this. Okay, so we're going to do this quick actually because I did this already. And video open broadcaster, gotta love it. Video just decided it was like, hey, by the way, nope. But fortunately for you, the video was a little long, so I'm gonna do. So the video was a little bit long, so we're gonna do it faster. Okay, let's take a look at some of these monsters that we are buffing. We have the fairies. Ooh, we have the Fire Dark Fairy, double arrow, damage increased by 13%. Not bad. Okay, 13% damage is not small potatoes. I don't get excited by like 5-6%, but 13% I get excited about. I mean, I get like if I have that monster and I like built them, I'm like, okay, oh, maybe I should try it out and see if it's like, you know, try it out in gameplay and see how I like it. How I like it some more. It's really not enough to make me want to. It's usually not enough to make me want to build a monster. But 13% is not bad. Okay, then we have Aqua Hurricane. We have all of these, the hurricanes and the gusts on all of the different fairies. Number of hits has been increased from 1 to 3 hits. Total damage remains the same. Just makes them good for Necropolis. So, for example, like the Wind Fairy is a 2-star, Nat 2. So, between that and the Water Fairy that everyone gets from the beginning, it's giving low-level players an easier time starting out in Necropolis, the bitch of Chaos Dungeon. So that's nice. And then the Light Fairy Queen, we see the same thing, basically just with the Light Fairy Queen. She's just another fairy. Then we have the Harpy, the Water Harpy. We have the Bear Hunt, damage increased by 6%. I'm not excited about that. We have the Harpoo, the Water Harpoo Frozen Field. The number of hits has been increased from 1 to 3 hits. Also makes it better for Necropolis. I see a lot of these buffs are for Necropolis. Total damage has been increased by 10%. Okay, at least we got a damage increase over there. Then we have the wrong way. Wait, what the? Oh, it's upside down. I'm like this. I can't possibly be. I know how to scroll, but not when your tablet's upside down. All right. We have the Dark Succubus, Night Hag Scuttle, damage increased by 10%. Nice, not bad. Not many people have the Dark Succubus. That's the most rare of all the succubi, the succubuts. Vampire Bat. Great for all the Vertiheal owners. The first skill of Vertiheal is now going to do, and I say that because more than 50% of the people that have a 6-star vampire is Vertiheal. I would venture to say probably 80% plus of the 6-star vampires are Vertiheal. Just being realistic. Just being realistic. I know there's a couple other ones floating out or like floating around there, but it's mostly Vertiheal. But damage increased on the first skill by 11%. So for a lot of those, I mean, this could be a game changer for a lot of those, since he's always got really, really high crit rate. Then yeah, I think this might be just like that little boop to take it over the edge, and definitely a lot of people are going to be happy about that. A lot of people that have Vertiheal, except for all the people that are like, fuck that shit. We have the Amazon. Ice Arrow, Fire Arrow, Poison Arrow. Chance to freeze has been increased. So this is the second skill. Chance to freeze has been increased from 25 to 40%. So just more likely to do all that good stuff. Continuous damage and HP recovery. Okay. Doesn't make us really want to build them specifically. It's not a game changer. Martial Cat. Light Martial Cat, Lonely Fight passive. So this is the more damage. Hold on. Let me actually go to this monster, because this is one that was somewhat interesting. But I don't know if we still start building some cats now. Let's see. Oh my god, cat, where are you? Here she is. Okay, so the passive, if your HP status is lower than the enemy's, your attacks will deal additional damage that is proportionate to your max HP. But she's an attack monster. But we did increase the damage now by 33%. So that's going to be something interesting. That, when it says additional damage has been increased by 33%, that's something you want to start taking a look at and saying, okay, is this going to do a lot of damage now? So, because that's a big increase. We have Bounty Hunter. I'm excited about this one. Okay. All Bounty Hunters, Bullseye, first skill, number of hits has been increased from 1 to 2 hits. Total damage remains the same. I'm curious to know if one of them defense breaks, because they have a small chance to ignore defense. So I'm curious if that is going to be more likely now that there's 2 hits instead of 1. Also, this is really great for Necropolis, because now we have a 2-hit first skill, so we can revenge and hit twice. And we also can violent and hit multiple times, hit 2 times. Even if we just have the first skill, we can hit 2 times first, and we can hit another 2 times if we violent proc again. That's the third skill. The second skill, you guys have seen how crazy it gets sometimes. You get hit like 10 times. It's ridiculous. So yeah, so not bad to have the Bounty Hunter's second skill on Necropolis. But the first skill makes it even more viable for Necropolis. I'm curious to see if one defense breaks, if they're both in a defense break, or vice versa, or if the first one doesn't defense break, doesn't ignore defense. I mean, ignore defense. If they're both going to ignore defense, or if they're both not going to ignore defense, or if they're totally unrelated to each other. So if one doesn't, the other one could. That could just make them stronger in general. So violent bounty hunters could be a decent buff on that. Since a lot of people are already thinking about building Randy, and I see mostly people building Randy. I like my Wayne, but I know most people build Randy. Also, I see people build actually I see people build the light and dark ones as well. Then we have, cause the occult girls needed another buff. Help me, Teddy. First skill increased by damage increased by 5%. All the other ones, 5% is, I'm not excited about that. Cool time decreased by 1 turn. So everyone that has an occult girl, congratulations. Cool time decreased. Especially that the dark occult girl we pulled on Saturday morning summons. Oh my god. Now you just got a dark occult girl and you got a cool time decrease. Yes. Mystic Witch, Water and Dark Toad Poison. What this does is it's going to remove a beneficial effect and then block beneficial effects for 1 turn. Damage increased by 10%. Okay. Most people don't have Megan Rune for damage anyway, though. Lich Soul Summoning. Number of hits has been increased from 1 to 2 or 3. This is just randomly 2 or 3. Soul Summoning is the first skill, and it's going to decrease attack speed. And chance of casting a harmful effect has been decreased by from 75% to 40%. That's cut in half. I hate that. It's better for Necropolis now, but now the harmful effect, the speed nerf is shitty. I don't like that. Okay, then we have the Fire Lizard Man. Average damage dealt 4%. I don't even know why they did anything. 4% is nothing. 4% is not anything. Water Stab, damage increased by 6%. Amount of life recovered has been increased by from 25 to 35. I don't think that makes anyone really build a Water Minotaurus, though. And then Fire 1, damage increased by 6%. Okay. Hell Ladies all get a cool time decrease, except for the Wind one, who just gets a 7% damage increase. No cool time decrease for you, Wind Hell Lady. Ethna. Fuck you, Ethna. This has come to us flicking everyone with the wind. Everyone with the Wind Hell Lady is like, what? Everyone else got a cool time decrease. You give me 7% more damage. God damn it. We have Crossfire. First skill of the Cowgirl. Number of hits increased from 2 to 3, which just makes it even better. The harmful effect has been decreased, though, from 30 to 20. But this just makes the Water Cowgirl even better at Necropolis. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alright, so we have the dragon. Oh, we have Verad. Verad! Cooltime decreased from 6 turns to 5 turns. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Everyone that's using him for TOA hard is like, thank God. Thank God, even better. And we have the Vagabond. Cry of Challenge. Chance of taunting the enemy increased from 70 to 80%. Unfortunately, there's still so many Veramos teams. Chloe, Fedora, Velajewel, Delphoy. Everyone's got immunity nowadays. Draco. There's just Konamiya even. Well, actually, this would work better against the Konamiya team than anything else, because Konamiya you can still provoke. You have element disadvantage over Konamiya, but you can still provoke Konamiya as well. So you still have that. But yeah, that's one of the challenges. Cry of Challenge is one of the challenges for using the Fire Vagabond in Arena in the first place. But he's not bad. You just can't use him in Arena, really. You need to use it on specific teams. Okay, Drunken Master. Otherwise, AoE provoke is not bad. Drunken Master Light, Store Kick, chance of draining life from the enemy has increased from 30% to 50%. It's not the chance, it's the amount of life drained, actually. Because it deals, I think the skill is... Let's see. Store Kick. Your HP is recovered by 30% of the inflicted damage. So it's actually, the 30% is the amount of HP that you drain. So that's up from 30% to 50%. Alright, then skills have been improved. Sky Dancer, Water and Light. Damage is based on attack power and attack speed instead of just attack power. Okay. So having speed on 2 is now much better. Much better. So speed. I was going to say speed, crit damage, attack. But I think it's speed, attack, because her heal is based on her attack power anyway. We have Dark Dagger of Grudge for the Dark Sky Dancer that no one has. The effect of gaining guaranteed critical hits when HP is below 50% has been replaced with ignoring all damage reduction effects. So if she's got attack break, attack power break, or glancing hit, I assume that means glancing hit as well. Then it just doesn't matter. She just can't be attack power broken as far as the Dagger of Grudge is concerned. Then we have the High Elemental, the Wind and Dark Soul Split, which does a pretty decent amount of damage, and it's going to heal you by partial of the damage dealt. I think if they kill, or I'm trying to remember. Attacks by splitting the enemy soul in half, recovers your HP by 35% if the enemy dies. So if the enemy doesn't die, it still gives them the heal debuff. So we do have that, but we want to really want to try to kill with that though. I don't think it's. I'm not really super excited about that. It's a buff, but I'm not. It didn't make the monster super amazing. We have the Fire and Dark Twist of Joy. Additionally, transfer up to 2 harmful effects from your monster to the enemy target. So, Fire and Dark. Not too many people with the Dark Succubus, but we do have the Fire one as a fusible monster. So, Twist of Joy is the second skill. Let me find it. Lower the enemy's HP, the more damage you deal. You also recover 30% of the damage you inflicted as the enemy as HP. I wonder if this works. I wonder if that heals, if that transfers the effects first. I think that should transfer the effects first. So if you have a heal debuff on you, you can transfer that heal debuff to the enemy and then heal yourself still. Or if you have a defense break on you, hey, transfer that to the enemy and then there you go. Alright, what else do we have? Water, Wind, and Light Succubus. Strike of Rejection, that's the second skill. Instead of getting a guaranteed critical hit that on the enemies that are asleep, it's been replaced for a stun that lasts for 1 turn. So, more reliable. I think I like that better. I have to change the crit damage on my slot 4 of my Light Succubus then, because that's going to do nothing since we have such a low crit rate anyway. since it's not guaranteeing critical hit anymore. I think that's going to change the way some people play that have 6-star light succubus, but it's more crowd control, less damage, basically. Alright, so then we have the Dark Feast of Blood passive. No one has the Dark Vampire. The skill has additionally been given a branding effect that lasts for 2 turns on the passive every time you attack. The branding effect can be applied with attacks. So every time you attack, they get a brand as well. It was already good. The Dark Vampire was already good, though. Alright, we have the Magical Archers. This one I'm kind of confused about. Okay, we have all of them, the Magic Arrow for the first skill. Skill has additionally been given a series of weakening effects that can be applied. Weakening effects to be applied is decided according to attribute relation between attacker and the target. If the attacker has an attribute advantage, damage reduction for 2 turns. Damage reduction? What the hell are you talking about, damage reduction? So if we have the fire archer, or if we have the fire archer and we attack the wind monster, then we attack another fire monster, then we're going to damage reduction. Which means what? Which means we're going to put a defense buff on them? That's not a weakening effect. So damage reduction. The damage reduction is not a weakening effect. That's why I'm confused at what the hell they're talking about. I'm guessing it's a defense break? I don't know, but if we have the attribute, or if the target has the attribute advantage, so let's say if we are a fire monster and we're attacking a water monster, we can put them to sleep for 1 turn. So, yeah. Are they talking defense break with the other ones? Because that's confusing, damage reduction. Unless they're in... That's not a... That's a buff, that's not a debuff. What? Alright. Well, we'll see what the hell they're talking about there. But yeah, I still do not understand what that's supposed to mean. Damage reduction. We'll give you a damage reduction. But yeah. Or are they talking about attack power break? I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. Okay, then we have the wind one, which is interesting. Keenness passive. Let's go to the wind one. I'm on my iPad. My iPads. So her passive right now, her critical rate is increased by 25% and chances increase additionally as your HP decreases. What it is being changed to, and I'm excited to see this now, instead of getting a critical rate buff when the monster's HP drops, the skill will now increase critical damage under the same condition. So now we have to change the runes. If you have a wind magical archer, you have to change the runes. She needs more crit rate now, but crit damage increases when her HP drops. Does this mean that she's the next Trevor? Because that's exciting. I don't know. I don't think she's going to be anywhere near as strong. But we're going to have to check that out. Because it's a crit damage increase when she gets low on HP. So if she takes some damage, we buff our crit damage. I really would love to see how that goes. I would love to see that. I have one of my guildmates, Buffalo. He's got one. I actually did a video on it, but I never published the video because I wasn't happy with the way it turned out. So yeah, but now this gives me a great reason to try it out again. So even though I was planning on doing another video anyway, I just wasn't happy with the way the video that I turned out. All right, so we have Drunken Master, Seal Punch will grant. Okay, so this was an attack. The Water Seal Punch was an attack that attacked and then gave him an attack speed buff. Now this does it to all allies. So it's an AoE attack speed buff. Not bad. Not bad. Same thing with the Tiger Punch from the Fire one. It's an AoE attack power buff. The Dark Snake Punch already did an AoE buff of the critical chance, I believe it was, and now it's just going to deal continuous damage. I'm not excited about that. I'm not too worried about that. But the Water and the Fire ones might be a little interesting. Let's see the first and second skills on the Drunky Drunks now. Decrease attack power with the first skill and recover HP of all allies with the second skill. Maybe we'll see the water one or something like actually be used now. Because it's got an AoE attack speed buff. And a heal. And an AoE heal. AoE attack speed buff, AoE heal, and crit rate reduction. Or not crit rate reduction. The chances of being attacked with a critical hit are reduced. So hey, we might see the water one being used now. I would think. And then we have, I mean, the same thing with the fire drunken master is going to be an attack power buff with but I think if we're going to do that, maybe we just use Kali, the fire high elemental. So I think maybe the water one people might build. What else? Oh, the Penguin Knights. Penguin Knights got a buff. Okay. Water, fire, and light start battle. Water. Where's the water one? Okay. Water Penguin Knight. Toma. Okay, start battle, second skill, removes one of your harmful effects and charges to attack the enemy. Instead of that, now we have skill now decrease target enemy's attack speed and defense for 2 turns. Defense break and attack speed break. Not bad. I like this better. I like this better than removing one harmful effect on the monster. Okay, and then his third skill, Crush Iceberg. This is why I'm also interested in that. Since we have the defense break, his Crush Iceberg gathers power for a strong, fast charge. The critical rate increases to 100% if the enemy's defense is weakened. So defense break with the second skill, and then 100% crit rate with the third skill. When we have a defense break, when we attack on top of a defense break. So, okay, so now we're talking. Now we're talking. The Dark Penguin Knight, also interesting. Where are you, Dark Penguin Knight? Kuna. Let's see. Undefeated Warrior attacks the enemy by yourself and attacks all enemies additionally by 1 time. Okay, so the second attack that now targets all enemies will now additionally cast a defense AoE defense break for 2 turns. AoE defense break for 2 turns, and we have a stun and we have a provoke on his first and second ones. Stun, provoke, and AoE defense break. Might be a little bit more used now. Might be. And then we have the Wind 1, Wings of Wind. Okay, let's go to the Wind 1. This is the long. Wings of Long text. Wings of Wind removes one of your... We're at 22 minutes. We gotta hurry this shit up. Instead of attacking the enemy after removing one harmful effect from all allies, the skill will now remove one harmful effect from all allies, decrease cooldowns by 1 turn, and increase their attack speed for 2 turns. AoE decrease cooldowns by 1 turn and increase attack speed for 2 turns. So it still removes the harmful effect. It does not attack. It no longer attacks, but it removes a harmful effect, decreases cooldowns, and increases their attack speed. This is a big increase. It's a big increase. This totally changes the third skill, basically. That is something to... I don't know if this makes him viable in Dragons, but we'll see. That's huge. You could actually use that guy now. We have the Dark Taoist. Instead of recovering 25% HP at once, it does 15 for 2 turns. The duration of the attack speed increase reduced from 3 to 2. This skill will now apply a stun that lasts for 1 turn to the enemy with the highest attack bar. So this is a skill he uses on himself to recover his HP and to give himself increased speed. But we also stun the enemy with the highest attack bar as well. Makes him a little bit better. Not as big of a buff as something like the Penguin Knight, as we saw, but it does at least stun whoever's going to attack you next. Then we have the Dark Harpy, Sign of Death. HP disturbance has been replaced with a branding effect. Okay. I just changed it basically. I'm not really a buff. Minotaurus, Wind, Lord of the Labyrinthios passive. This they changed. This they totally changed. And this is a farmable monster too. You can get this from Charuka. Instead of receiving The passive, let's look at the passive real quick. God damn, it's taking so long. Why does it always take so long? Lord of Labyrinthios passive increases resistance by 50%, increases receiving recovery amount by 50%. Now, we are going to increase attack power by 50% and heal the monster for 30% of the damage dealt. So we have an attack power buff passive and basically a set of vampire runes. Basically. So, yes, and his first skill. His second skill already recovers if the enemy dies. So now and he's got he's an HP monster, but I think we still got to do, try to get him for attack though, because his attacks aren't based on HP. So, yeah, his attacks aren't based on HP. So we still have to rune him for attack, even though he's an HP monster. Yeah, but he's gonna be healing a lot. Heals and heals and heals for days. Closer to the dark Minotaurus now, but he doesn't have that pesky you can't buff his attack. He doesn't have tremendous base attack though. Then we have the Mystic Witch. Skill has additionally removed the beneficial effect on the enemy with 100%. This was 80% before, now it's 100%, but I don't really see that making it super useful. Like, we're not going to start building Wind Mystic Witches just for that 20% buff. Fire Transcendence passive. The passive used to do a 15% chance to attack, to get a turn after an enemy gets their turns. This also now gives the Lich an attack power and crit rate buff, but it's a 15% chance. I never see it actually used. I never see the skill actually, the Transcendence come into play. It's just such a low percent, though. Then we have for the Water, Wind, and Dark Deadly Touch. Skill has been changed, so it does not erase. So it's the second skill. I was going to attack targets randomly. Let's take a look at this. This does not make the Water Lich good. Don't get excited. This is actually just a bug fix. We already know. We won't even look at it. It's just a bug fix. So that it doesn't erase attack speed if we're doing a monster that can't be frozen or stunned. It's a bug fix. It's not a buff to the monster. Monkey King, though, I'm excited because I have this guy at 6 stars. He's one of my few net 5s. The skill also grants 2 turns of immunity. What this does is the alter ego attack attacks 4 times and would grant invincibility. Now he gains immunity and cooltime decreased by 1 turn if the attack gets 3 or 4 critical hits. I'm excited. Mine has a pretty high crit rate. So, yes. Now it's basically gives him Chloe's Fanatic. Yeah, Chloe's Fanatic. That's nice. So, it's just for one monster though. I mean, if it did that to everyone, then it'd be like, oh, OP, overpowered. But at least he's cooltime decrease and 2 turns of immunity. So stop hating on the Water Monkey King, damn it. Stop hating. The people I know that have the Water Monkey King already, they were like, he's not as bad as people are saying he is. He farms Fayman easily. And I hear he does pretty good in dungeons too. Samurai, Water, Wind, Light. Okay, so everyone's got the not everyone. Lots of people have the Water Samurai. He's a Hall of Heroes monster. Skill will now gain the monster in attack speed. So it's his second skill. If the attack lands a critical hit, it's going to give him an attack speed increase, which this is a nice combo. There is a 50% buff on crit chance with the second skill anyway. So now it's almost always going to... I mean, now, it's always been a really, really high chance to land as a critical hit. Now it's going to buff the enemies, it's going to buff the Samurai's attack speed, and his third skill is based on attack speed, which means his third skill is going to do even more damage. Nice. Nice. Alright. And then we have AI, if some monsters has been improved. Okay, basically what this is the AI has been improved. For the first half, the AI has been improved to use attack bar related skills more often, which I assume is what they're going to do, is for the Garudas, they're going to resurge if the enemy's attack bar is lower. So they're going to say, okay, well this, not the enemy, if the, whoever you're resurging, it's going to probably look for the attack bar that's the lowest and resurge that one. I would think that that's what they're going to do for that. For the Fire Garuda, which no one uses, and the Wind Griffin, who everyone uses, Tailwind is now, Wind Griffin is now going to give you more defense successfuls on arena defense, because from what they see, from what I see here, is we're going to use Adrenaline more often. Attack bar related skills more often. Adrenaline is the one that they're talking about, so it's going to buff up the enemy's attack gauge. Not the enemy, yeah, but it's going to buff up all the monsters' attack gauge. God damn it, I'm talking so fast I can't even think anymore. It's just, you know, those Bernards, you get into arena, you're facing a Bernard, you expect him to use Adrenaline, buff up everyone's attack gauge and attack speed. He doesn't do that. Instead, he like craps out and uses this for a skill. Now he's going to be very reliable, not just in arena, but also in dungeons as well. So, yes, AI improvement on Bernard gonna help a lot of people with Bernard in their arena defense to get successful arena defenses. So that's nice. Water, Inferno, Adrenaline, same thing. The Adrenaline, his third skill, going to buff up the attack gauge, buff everyone by 50%. 50% is huge. But yeah, it's going to be much more reliable as well. So these are nice for arena defenses. People that have these monsters in their arena defenses, they're going to get more successfuls. Same thing with the Wind Neostone Agent. I'm assuming that they're talking about using the Briefing, which is going to remove harmful effects on one of the monsters and fill up their attack gauge. I'm assuming that they're talking about the monsters that it's going to be used more often, and with monsters that have low attack gauges. I would hope that that's what it's talking about. Same thing with Wind Horus. Then we have the second half. Activation condition of the skill regarding HP situations has been changed to make the AI use the skill under broader situations. Okay, so even if we don't need to heal, we'll still use the Predator's Cry more often, the Water and Light Werewolf, so we'll still do a little bit of a heal, and the attack speed increase more often, even if we don't need to heal. So we're not going to wait until we need to heal to use that skill. Water Neostone Agent, medical support, since it gives a defense buff. Sylphid, the Light Sylphid, it gives a defense buff as well. We're going to still use that. Not even wait to use it when we need HP, when we need to heal. We're just going to use it and get that that buff as well. Okay, and the Fire Harpu, same thing. Fiery Dance is going to increase the attack power. Viking, Light Viking. Light Viking is similar to the Water Inferno, right? Yes, but it also heals. It buffs their attack gauge, and it also heals by 15% as well. No one builds the Light Viking anyway, though. Drunken Master, one more drink is going to decrease the chance of them receiving critical hits, but it also is a heal, so now we're going to use that even if we don't need to heal. And the Battle Mammoth is going to be a defense buff. Even if we don't need to heal, we're going to buff that defense as well. Oh my god, 33 minutes. I was trying to make it shorter. I made it like 15 minutes short. Actually, that's still pretty big. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it helps you understand which monsters might be good or bad, or still not anything exciting. I don't know. We just went just to review these monsters' skills. But there's some that I'm really interested in. I'm happy about the Griffins. AI improvement. That's gonna be nice for a lot of people that put those in their arena defenses. Who else am I excited about? I want to check out the Penguin Knights. I want to check out the Magical Archers. And who else? Penguin Knights, Magical Archers? Yeah, and there's some buffs for making other monsters good at Necropolis up at the top. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just some information on the new patch. Sorry I talked so much. I was trying to do it fast too, seriously. As always, I will see you guys, bam, right there in the next motherfucking video. Time for bed. Oh yeah.